देखोगे अंतर मन में राम को क्षण भर देखो, सब में राम ही राम समाए, सब में राम।
सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 14, verses 11 to 20.
सर्वद्वारेषु देहेऽस्मिन् प्रकाश उपजायते, ज्ञानं यदा तदा विद्यात् विवृद्धं सत्त्वमित्युत। लोभः प्रवृत्तिरारम्भः कर्मणामशमस्पृहा, रजस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे भरतर्षभ। अप्रकाशो प्रवृत्तिश्च प्रमादो मोह एव च, तमस्येतानि जायन्ते विवृद्धे कुरु नन्दन। यदा सत्त्वे प्रवृद्धे तु प्रलयं याति देहभृत्, तदोत्तमविदां लोकान् अमलान् प्रतिपद्यते। रजसि प्रलयं गत्वा कर्मसङ्गिषु जायते, तथा प्रलीनस्तमसि मूढयोनिषु जायते। कर्मणः सुकृतस्याहुः सात्विकं निर्मलं फलम्, रजसस्तु फलं दुःखम्, अज्ञानं तमसः फलम्। सत्त्वात् सञ्जायते ज्ञानं, रजसो लोभ एव च। प्रमादमोहौ तमसः भवतो ज्ञानमेव च। ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्ताः, मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः। जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्थाः अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः। नान्यं गुणेभ्यः कर्तारं यदा द्रष्टानुपश्यति, गुणेभ्यश्च परं वेत्ति मद्भावं सोऽधिगच्छति। गुणानेतानतीत्यत्रीन् देही देहसमुद्भवान् जन्म मृत्युजरा दुःखैः विमुक्तो मृतमश्नुते
Janki ma'am, you're on mute.
Thank you. We have been discussing about the three gunas, and we are discussing now what is the effect of the three gunas. So when you die in the predominance of sattva, die means die means very good. End of the experience. So from in this class, you will be dead at level 30. You were born at
10:30.
10:30. You all keep quiet in such a way like as if I've asked some deeply philosophical question. Just normal. You were born here at 10:30. And if you were a good student, you were born here at
10:15.
10:15.
Yes. Okay, so if you're a good student, you were born here at 10:15, 10:20. And if you had been born at that time, you would be listening to
Bhajans.
bhajans. So if you die in sattva, you're reborn, then you get bhajans, right? You get sattva. Even if you're born in 10:30, you'll still get hopefully some sattva. But at 11:30 now, where will you be born? Based on what you are doing over here. You get the environment, but what you do with that environment is up to you. So when you have lived a sattvic life, he attains to the spotless worlds of the knowers of Brahman. You get to better and better, nobler and nobler worlds. Now you may be surprised and say, how does that happen? Even if you it's not necessarily that you go to a different world. Even in the same world with exactly the same people, your world will become sattvic. Because first you are associating with all their negative qualities. Then you start associating with all their positive qualities. Suddenly you find people in your environment having qualities which you didn't think they had. They always had that quality, but you didn't have the sattva to see it. So suddenly, I've seen children come over here and suddenly start appreciating their parents, or they appreciate their teachers, or their friends, or somebody, same people they're dealing with, but they start seeing the sattva in them. So as we become more sattvic, our world becomes sattvic. Now, when you say that in English, it sounds like what world, but this knowledge wasn't written in English. It was written in Sanskrit. That's why it's important that at least a base knowledge of Sanskrit should be had. I mean, like, really to get the spirit of it, some amount of association with Sanskrit is necessary. I mean, in the developed economies in America or something, they will not let you study the subject unless you study Sanskrit with it. But we are more flexible. So you have some Sanskrit knowledge. So if you see what he has written, the word he has used is the word lokan. Lokan is translated into English as worlds, loka. When you translate it into English, it becomes world. But loka in Sanskrit doesn't mean a world necessarily in the sense of these gross objects. Loka is actually your experience. Which world you live in means what is your experience going on there. So some people in this class will have a sattvic experience. They will be reminded of the divinity. They will be reminded of the cause. They will be focused on the point we are studying. Some people will have a rajasic experience. They'll say, oh, see, that person is answering, not answering. Oh, look at who has won what. You know, it's a very rajasic experiences going on. Or noticing the immaterial thing. What is the age of the people, or something immaterial to the class. And then third kind of people are in this very class going through a tamasic experience. What is their tamasic experience? Going same. So the world is the same, but the experience is dependent on whether you have been sattvic or not in the past. You have been rajasic or not in the past. You have been tamasic or not in the past. So some people say, how can we have a sattvic world now? It's so bad. We're in Kali Yuga. That's really not how it works. You can have a sattvic experience when you are sattvic. So when the embodied being indeed meets death in the predominance of sattva, means any change of experience, including physical death, he attains to the spotless worlds of the knowers of the Supreme. Because you're carrying on your gunas. Whoever you are is the person you're going to be. That is why, in earlier times, they used to look down on divorce and things like that. Why? I mean, unless there's some very, very important cause, okay? There's some men who beat up their wives, or wives who, I don't know, some nonsense people do. But assuming they're not doing any nonsense, they used to look down on divorce. Why do you think that is so? Because you leave one partner and you go to the next partner, but you are the same person. So your experience may be exactly the same. Unless you change, your experiences cannot change. They just can't. So it's not that Vedanta has anything against divorce, okay? Nothing, there's no such thing. But when you're getting into a new relationship, or even the first relationship, please remember that relationship always has to be a subset of the person I am. Because if I am not sattvic, how can I have a sattvic relationship? So that's why, we keep saying, don't keep talking of the other person, talk of yourself. If you are in a relationship and 60% the problem is caused by the other party and 40% the problem is caused by you, if you can clean your 40%, you will have a 40% better relationship. But nobody sees that. What they say, no, he should clean his 60%. If we think like that, we cannot improve the situation. So being in a spotless world comes about when I am spotless. I cannot have a better world than the person I am. If my tendencies are rajasic, meeting death in rajas, he is born amongst those attached to action. You will constantly be, in a world where people are all, ye chahiye, wo chahiye, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, just completely obsessed with action. As if this is the be all and end all. Just work hard, get money or get reputation or get whatever it is in the world you want, and that's it. And once you get it, work hard so that you get something else. And if you get that, then what? Work even harder so that you get something else. Think, humans, think. Are you just getting the same problems at a higher cost? If this did not satisfy you, what makes you think that will satisfy you? When will you stop this silly chase? Then we say that, then people say, oh, do you think we should not improve our lifestyle? No, please improve your lifestyle. But why are you getting so involved in it? It is part of our obligatory duties that we will improve our lifestyle. If you have a house which you're keeping in a particular way, of course you will try to improve it. You will paint the house, you will clean the house, you will change stuff as it, whatever. Sometimes you may do a full reno. Of course you'll do that. But Rajasic means he believes it's a be all and end all of existence to do. I notice some ladies, they talk about renovating their house like, I don't know, like, I don't know what, it's like achieve the goal of human existence or something. These are just normal everyday things. They should be to you like brushing your teeth. It's just part of life, right? You do it. You don't say, what happened today? I brushed my teeth. And you know what? Today I actually changed my toothpaste. But I didn't change my brush. Please, we are not interested in all these details. It's just normal everyday life. Let it go on. So, what do the Rajasic people do is they're all like obsessed with everything. If they get a dog, they're obsessed with the dog. If they get a partner, they're obsessed with the partner. If they get a house, they're obsessed with the house. If they come to Vedanta, they're obsessed with Vedanta. The whole thing is a matter of just getting attached to this, and reacting very strongly to everything that happens. Somebody behaves badly. Somebody just behaves very badly. What will you do? If you're a sattvic person, you will realize the person is behaving badly. If you're a Rajasic person, what will you do? You will make a 10 serial drama out of that. 10 episode drama. And you know how he said, how dare you talk like that? No? He's been rude. Now that's that. What do you want to do? What do I want to do? I don't know. I think I should go and complain to the police. Okay, think you should complain? Go complain. But do you want to spend your life doing that? Yesterday in the building, there was a massive drama over nothing. I mean, if I tell you the story, I will not be able to express it because you will be left wondering what the drama is. So I can't even tell you the story because, frankly, I myself am not very clear what the drama was about. But there was a major drama between the staff and the owners, and the owner told the staff to not enter the building. What happened? If you just try and say what happened, oh, he's all drunk and he's saying stupid things. He's saying stupid things, but he's not drunk. He happens to be stupid, and therefore he's saying a stupid thing. You should not have drunk people in the house. Nobody's having drunk people in the house. He's not drunk. I mean, you cannot expect staff to have the finesse of speech that you expect from more educated people. So you understand that. There's a very nice saying in, I don't know who says it, but it's a very good saying, that you need not attribute to malice what is easily explained by ignorance. You need not attribute to malice what is easily explained by stupidity. I don't know who said it, but it's a beautiful line. When somebody says something bad to us, we attribute it to him being malicious and bad and mean and he did something bad because he's stupid, not because he's malicious. You need not attribute to malice what can be easily explained by stupidity. That's it. If you understand this, there's no excitement over it. There is no blood boiling over it. The nature of rajas is they cannot understand. They can't, just can't. So he's born amongst those attached to action. What does that mean? You can't understand this. The other person cannot understand this. Massive quarrel. What is the quarrel about? Nobody knows. It's so silly. So this is if you're Rajas. Lot of drama, lot of drama. You know what is this? What? Parvat khoda, chूहा nikla. Nothing in it. Then comes the tamasic guys. They are a breed of their own. So, yeah, Bharat.
Yeah, Jankiji. So the center of this Rajasic drama is how can this happen to me, right? Since I am the center of my world, so it's happening to me. So that is what is creating the problem.
Me and mine, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Then, so also, dying in tamas, he is born in the wombs of the senseless. If there is a lot of tamas in us, then we are surrounded or we are associating with that part of our world which is senseless. Can you give examples? So many examples I've given. Now you give.
If you're in a group filled with alcoholics, you're born in a group of alcoholics.
Okay, here you born. So they're senseless, they're consumed beyond their capacities. What else? Born in the wombs of the senseless means you're always with senseless people. Senseless people, easy ones are alcoholics, superstitious people, big fuss, whether the door is this side or the door is that side. As if my life is going to be determined by what is the entrance. Common sense dictates that the entrance should be, nice, well lit. This common sense dictates this. But now, if that entrance is not in that exact place, then pata nahi kya hoga. So, alcoholism, drugging, superstition. Now, you all may all say, no, we don't have all this stuff. But there are other ways of being senseless, of taking stupid decisions, of not taking the precautions you need to take. Like, have you written your will? Have you signed organ donation letter? Any precaution? As a youngster, have you started investing? Otherwise, you come to 60 and you say, I have no money, then what are you going to do? In life, we always have to have enough money that should we not work, we are okay. And with that confidence, then you go to work. So, how will you have enough money? Unless you are Mukesh Ambani's son, you will not have enough money. So, how do you do that? You start by saving and investing very early in life. And once you have done that, and you've done that over a long period of time, there will come a time where no matter what the situation, you have no financial worries. You don't ever go to work because you need the money. I mean, now we are trying to hire somebody. We need a manager. I mean, we need many managers, but we need a manager at least to begin with. And we are trying to hire somebody. And it's incredible how much people want the job, not the work. And even in the staff, you can see that. They all want the job. Very few people want the work. This is all part of that tamasic senselessness. This is a stupid way to live. Why don't we want the work? Why don't we want to do something wonderful in life? Our attitude is, if I don't need money, I will not work. That won't take us far. So, wombs of the senseless. That means you're simply not able to see something beyond. It's just all black, can't see anything. So, wounds of the senseless can be in various ways. It could be things like people who ruin themselves over gambling. Or it could be people who do not understand the concept of building themselves a corpus and not going to work for making money. So, wounds of the senseless means just not thinking. Senseless is also this. Your spouse does something stupid and irritating in the house, or your staff member, or your child, or anyone does something stupid and irritating, and you are getting irritated, and there is no pause between your irritation and the tongue. This is the wombs of the senseless. There's just no pause at all. Some people have no filters. When they're irritated, they can say anything, like literally anything. They can tell a girl you're a boy. Like, there's no correlation only in anything. Wombs of the senses. So, if we decrease our tamas, we will tend not to associate with this nonsense. So somebody just, in Marathi, there's a strange usage. They say, "Jibela kai hard nahi." Which Bharti is this? Is this Dr. Bharti, or actually both are Dr. Bhartis? Which Bharti is this? Is Dr. Bharti Talwarkar, or it is Dr. Bharti? What is Bharti's surname? I don't know. Or it's some other Bharti. I don't know. Please put your surnames if you have got famous names. No, nobody's answering, so it must be a new person. Okay, so this the reason I'm asking is because I want verification of the Marathi thing. So Jibela kai hard. Oh, Aryan or Mahesh? Mahesh, Jibela kai hard nahi. That's correct, right?
Yeah.
Or am I asking the wrong person? What
No,
does it
I've heard
mean?
that.
Huh?
I don't know what it means, but I've heard it.
No. It means something to the effect that there is no, it translates as there is no bone in your tongue. So that is obvious. Nobody has a bone in their tongue. What it means is your tongue is so flexible, it can say anything. That means you're talking the most ridiculous rubbish. That's what it means. Like you can just say anything to anybody. There's no barrier at all. So when you, just because you're angry, can make any statement, like literally any, it has no basis in truth or fact or nothing to do with the incident also. This is all wombs of the senses. Have you met people like that? They're angry, they can say anything, regardless of truth or false, or relevant, irrelevant, true, false, koi unko chinta hi nahi hoti. So if you die in tamas, then those are the people you get. Then, what is the result of all this stuff? Okay, so far clear, right? Because these are the gunas. You could have predominance in these gunas, and this is the result. What happens if you're sattvic? You get those words. If you're rajasic, you get that word. If you're tamasic, you get that. Clear? That means you get that experience. Now, okay, you got that experience. Now, what is the result of it? So he's explaining it even further. So verse 16. So far, so good. Anyone has anything up to this point? Okay, so now we go to verse 16. Karmana sukrutasyahu satvikam nirmalam phalam Rajasastu phalam dukham. Ajnanam tamasa phalam. Karmana sukrutasyahu. Satvikam nirmalam phalam. Rajasastu phalam dukham. Ajnanam tamasa phalam. This is an interesting verse because of the way it is organized. Karmanaha sukrutah. Karmanaha sukrutah means good actions. The word here, of course, is sukrutasya, of good actions. So, good actions. The ahuhu, you have heard that, ahuhu has been said. Ahuhu is a peculiar word because it refers to the paroksha bhutka, like very, 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 very far behind. So you know that they mean it has been said from time immemorial. Karmana sukrutasya ahuhu satvikam nirmalam phalam. It's a very, very interesting usage. The fruit of good action, they say, is sattvic, pure. You notice something straight away wrong with this line? Okay, read the rest. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. This is easy. Rajas ka phal dukh hota hai. Please note from this that some people are of the belief that you should have little tamas, you should have little rajas, and you should have little sattva. You should have a balance of the three gunas. I mean, of course, you're most welcome to have it, but please note. Rajasastu phalam dukkham. Tu means but. Rajasaha phalam dukkham. The fruit of rajas is dukkham. You want little dukh in your life, please have rajas. No problem. Tamasaha phalam ajnanam. The fruit of tamas is ajnanam, is ignorance. Now you notice anything strange?
Yeah, like in one of them, Satvika is the effect and good action is the cause, but in the other two, Rajas and Tamas are the cause and sorrow and ignorance are the effect.
Very good. See, everybody, if your video is on, you're paying attention and you can see what is going on. You notice what is going on? He says the fruit of good action is sattva. The fruit of rajas is sorrow. The fruit of tamas is ignorance. Which is strange, right? You should say the fruit of sattva is probably self-realization. The fruit of rajas is dukkha. And the fruit of tamas is ajnanam, which we understand. But this now is turned it upside down. Because he is not cut, we know that, right? From day one, we know. He will not leave us in peace. So you have to now answer the question, why would he do that? He has promised to tell us the fruits. Now he's saying sattva itself is the fruit. Why would he do that? You get what the problem is, right? In the way this verse has been formulated. So why would he do something like that? Because think about it. If you accept that the fruit of sattva is self-realization, if you accept that, what is self-realization? The whole point of living in sattva is
To get out of it.
to get out of it. Right? It is removal, it is never addition. You don't have to gain the self. You have to remove everything extraneous to the self. So when you say the fruit of sattva is realization, It is the only thing, the fruit of sattva is nothing. Means all your vasanas have gone to zero. So it's a poetical way of saying that. Because he's driving, otherwise you will say, oh, I'll be sattvic, to mujhe kya milega? I'll go to heaven. He's trying to tell you the point of sattva is to come to zero, not to get something. And that zero is everything. So, and how do you get to sattva? It is not the creator. Sattva is not the creator of anything. But sattva comes out of good action. As you keep on doing the right action, the good action, sukrutaha. Sukrutaha. They're all very interesting words he uses. Sukrutaha. Sushtum krutaha. Right? To have done well. How do you know you have done well? You are satisfied because you have done all that you could have thought of doing. You have gone to the end of it. You are satisfied with your performance. You can really see this in the lower staff. People who are uneducated are obviously less sophisticated, and then you can see that. There are some people who come into the house to do cleaning, and they clean beautifully. Not because you're watching them, but because they know that's what they're paid for and that's what they're going to do. There are some people who do not clean, talk a lot, and make a lot of excuses for what something is not clean. Like over here, for instance, now, as you know, just you often hear the sounds of construction, right? So there's a building being made just opposite. So obviously there is dust in the house, there's dust on the banisters, all this. Now this chap, he doesn't clean the banister. He says, "Nee, bhabi, wo sab wahan se aa raha hai." Even if it comes, it cannot be this much because the thing is using that excuse, he doesn't dust it. It's a very interesting thing. When he does this, do you think he goes away from work feeling happy and satisfied? There is just no way it's going to happen. And the more he does this kind of thing, the more miserable he's going to be. And that's why he says, Rajasastu phalam dukha. Now let us say he doesn't even notice the dirt. He is so tamasic, can't even notice that it is dirty. Then tamasastu phalam ajnana. Because what you don't know, you just increase that ignorance, right? Since you are going with it. So many times you point out to a person, this is your fault, and this person doesn't know it. Sometimes they know it and they give excuses for it. And sometimes they take it up and do karmanaha shushtum karma, good work they do. Now, if you did the good work, your sattva will rise. If you made excuses why the work wasn't done, you will reach dukkham. And if you cannot see it at all, then ajnana tamasa phalam. Quite simple, right? And it's so much real life. People think spiritual knowledge is some esoteric thing. Just everyday life and common sense. So do good work. Do good work because you understand that that is good work. And the result of that is sattva. It could be as a student. It could be as a manager. It could be as a CEO. It could be as a parent. It could be as a child. It could be as anything. Just do what according to you is good work. Because what yardstick is there of this good work? Because at different levels, you will find different things as good. But that doesn't matter. Just doing the best you can is all that counts. And when you do that, the result is sattva. When you don't do that, you will get agitated because in your heart there is some guilt always. In fact, you will notice that very many people, they start explaining to you things. Why are they explaining? Did you ask for an explanation? They're explaining because they know that something's wrong. And of course, the worst is you don't know also. So that will only make it more and more tamasic. So fruit of rajas is sorrow. We don't need any explanation of that because that everybody knows. Fruit of tamas is ignorance, means that if you're not noticing things, you stay ignorant. You know, even if you take a child and lock the child up in a room and never let the child go out and play or whatever, the child will be of decreased intelligence. Why? Because there is no external thing coming in. This is a fact. So when we do that, we don't allow fresh ideas to come in. I mean, we as adults can consciously do it, right? Many people consciously close to new ideas, consciously don't want to allow new things to come in. Like I don't know, like a lady, her son gets married, a new girl comes into the house. Now, obviously, the new girl will have new ideas. Instead of encouraging her to say, oh, yeah, we can do this like this, it would be a better way. What will you end up doing? You'll say, no, we do it like this, and you must do it like this. You're not allowing any fresh thing to come in. And since you don't allow to come in, the result is ignorance continues. The same thing can happen in an organization. The bosses of the organization can keep saying, oh, we did this like this. Oh, we've never done this, so we should not do it. It's all nonsense. No? It all goes into tamas, it goes into darkness, it all sinks into very dull and depressing things. Even people who don't do up their houses regularly. You know, you go to their house, it looks like it used to look 57 years ago. Right? So it's all dark, dull, and depressing. One person, nice of them though, they offered us a place to have an office. You know, we are trying to have an office somewhere so that we can have just all meet there and work from there. And of course, hum log fakir hai, so we can't afford it. So very sweetly, they offered us a place. So all the big wigs around here, they took a journey to that place. Jesha, you had come to see the office? No, na. So all of these, the great Ratis and Maharatis from here went over there to see the place and came back totally depressed. You know, I mean, where it's a big, nice place, but everything is so, you know, I don't know how to express it. All Baba Adam Zamane Ka and all like, you know. So then they have now not gone ahead with that idea. When you don't allow the breeze in, you are stagnant air. And that only creates disease. So tamas is like, I don't know if Bhavna and Deepraj can understand what it is. Because when you're young, you take in ideas very fast. But after some time, you start thinking, I know this is the right way. And you will not take it anymore. I mean, you've met older people and you know the consequences of it. But you don't know how it is when you do it yourself. And remember this for 50 years later, if you can. And the other interesting thing over here is Rajas. Rajasasya phalam dukkham. The fruit of Rajas is dukkham. Sattva doesn't produce anything. Rajas in itself is not dukkham. I hope you realize that. Every time you're being Rajasic, what are you feeling? You are feeling top of the world. So the fruit of Rajas is dukkham. You are being very Rajasic. You went to the mall. You got yourself all whatever you impulsively felt like buying. You're feeling bad? You're feeling fine. So the fruit of Rajas is dukkha. So this guy, when he avoids the work, and he makes up stories, is he that moment feeling bad about it? No, that moment he's saying, oh, bacha, why I skipped it. But internally, that dissatisfaction is there. Comes a little late. Yeah, Bharat?
So the fruit of tamas is ignorance, and eventually that will also lead to sorrow, right?
Um, this is the thing about tamas, that you looking at a tamasic person, you will say he's in sorrow, but he will not claim sorrow. Rajasic people will claim the sorrow. So you suppose you know somebody who's very miserly or very rigid or very stubborn or very, I don't know, living in some dungeon of a house, or I don't know, something, living in the past, any tamasic quality that they may have, you look at the person and say, this guy's not a happy guy. He doesn't say that. You get the difference?
Yes.
But the Rajasic guy is complaining about how unhappy he is. The Tamasic guy is never doing that. He's not complaining. He's not. He thinks this is it because he knows no better. Rajasic guys have got up and down, up and down, up and down, right? So sometimes happy, sometimes he's sad. So he knows the difference. Tamasic guys are sinking. Okay.
So that's what makes it far worse, right? Because there's no recognition of it at all. Okay.
Yes, yes, that's what's so frightening about it. Yeah.
Janki, may I add something?
Mm-hmm.
You had given an example a long time ago about people who live in the slums. They're offered a better living condition, but they're quite happy to, the outsider may think they're unhappy in there, but they're quite happy and satisfied there. They don't want to move anywhere.
Yeah. People like that in Mumbai, you see a lot of it. They're not living in slums, but they are all living in very, very crowded tenements also. Like there'll be one room and 7, 8 people are living in that room because the price of property is crazy. So you tell them you go somewhere far off, sell this house, go somewhere far off, buy a house they want, because in their mind somehow living in South Mumbai is great. You can't tell them you're miserable there. And I don't know if you all are aware of this. South Mumbai prices are crazy. It's like lakh rupees a square foot or something. Crazy price. So people feel they're living in some kind of elitist place. Their own place may be like a, I don't know what, junkyard. But they like saying, I live there. And for that little thing, they are willing to live in under those conditions. And of course, they'll have justification. Oh, my work is there. As if in other parts of the city, there's no work. People from South Bombay go where to work? No, there's no work there. Of course, there's work everywhere. And if there isn't, create it. So yes, Meera, everywhere you see this. People who are bogged down. That's tamas, and they don't know it. Right. So now let's go to verse 17. Where, because he was giving us a googly last time, he makes some explanation this time. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramadamोहौ tamasah bhavato jnanameva cha. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramadamोहौ tamasah bhavato jnanameva cha. Now he's developing the idea further and he's also clarifying what he just said. The last time he said there is no result of sattva only. So unless you understood it in the way he meant it, you will feel, ye sattva kya hai? Mujhe zero tak le ja raha hai. I don't want it. So he says this time, he's explaining, just an explanation of the previous one. Sattva sanjayate jnanam. Now you all know enough Sanskrit to understand this. From sattva comes jnana, knowledge. So what knowledge is he talking about here?
Knowledge of the self.
Knowledge of the self, correct. As you grow spiritually, you get the knowledge of the self, which basically translates in our everyday life as clarity. The more you have the knowledge of the self, the more evolved you are, the more you're clear about what is happening in the world. So, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam, Rajasaha Lobha Evacha. And Sanjayate is understood from Rajas comes Lobh. If you live the Rajasic life, what are you going to always experience? Greed. I want this, I want this, I want this, I want more, I want more, I want more. Pramada Mohau Tamasaha. Pramada Mohau, it is samas. Pramad and Moha. It's a contraction that is used in Sanskrit grammar. Pramad means heedlessness, and Moha means delusion. And because there are two of them, they've given a dual ending to it. It should start. How many people in this class have got no knowledge of Sanskrit? Okay. Only Jayashree is admitting to no knowledge. All of y'all are pandits. What is going on here? Anupama, hardly. Okay. Right. I think Dev. So Dev, I suppose you're raising a hand to say no knowledge, right? That's it, 3 people. Why don't you all get together and have a Sanskrit class? Anupama would love to attend classes. Anupama, where are you? Why can't I see you? Where is your video? Since you're the only, very good. Very nice. Please.
Would love to actually.
Where are you based, Anupama?
Actually in New Bombay, but right now I'm in Nagpur. So I'm
Oh.
attending from there. Yeah.
Okay, very nice. Our only problem is when people are overseas, there's a problem because of all the time. But here, now, since you are interested in learning Sanskrit and you believe you should learn it, why don't you create a group of interested people from our class and start one Sanskrit class? A teacher we have, don't worry, because you may get frightened. We have a teacher.
Would
And-
love actually.
Okay, so get in touch with Mitali.
Okay.
Who are you in touch with in the class currently?
I think it's Mr. Bharat who puts the announcements. So it's just.
Okay, so Bharat, can you please give Anupama Mitali's number? And whenever you all are ready with the group, you can get in touch with Mitali, who will connect you to Ajay sir, who teaches us Sanskrit.
Okay.
He's very good. He has written books also on Panini and all of that. Thanks, Bharat. And he explains grammar very well. He doesn't do any rasaswad. Let me be clear. He's more mathematical based and he's not doing any, some of the other teachers, they like, oh, the Sanskrit stuff. He will go mathematically and he will explain the stuff to you. So
That's great.
be patient and go with it because that's the correct way of doing it. Okay?
Definitely.
So you are the coordinator of this class, okay? What do you do, Anupama?
Right. Actually, I've been a teacher for many years. Yeah, little children, primary. And right now, because of other things I felt there was a lot of time going into that. I wanted to spend more time with my mom, who's not keeping too well, so retired as of now. But yes, I would like to still continue doing the same thing, but maybe more like it shouldn't be like, that I'm totally with it from 9 to 5 and sometimes even beyond that. So maybe twice a week or thrice a week where I would like to go and teach, and of course that would be without or totally voluntary, that kind of a thing. Right now focusing on mom, and so
Well, Mithali runs an institution for people to teach village kids, um, teach village kids, and it's all done online. And she has teachers from all over the world. So when you speak to her about Sanskrit, you can speak to her about that as well.
that's great. Love that. Thank you so much.
You never know what comes out of what.
Yeah.
So, so where were we? So please learn, everyone. Please get in touch with Anupama and get together, have the class, and basic Sanskrit knowledge is necessary, because then you start getting some more out of the text. You start recognizing things in the text. So, Sattvat Sanjayate Jnanam. From Sattva comes Jnanam. Rajasaha Lobha Evacha. From Rajas, you get Lobha. From Tamas, Tamasaha Pramada Moha. Pramadaha Moha Bhavata. Ajnanam Evacha. So, what do you get from Tamas? He's given you quite a long explanation this time. You never know when he becomes charitable. Pramada, Moha, Ajnanam. So, I hope you're able to see that the first portion of this verse directly contradicts what he said in the last one. Right? What did he say in the last one?
Good action leads to
Good action leads to sattva. Now, what is he saying?
Sattva leads to knowledge.
Sattva needs to know. But why couldn't he have said it there only? Isn't it? Why did he say good action leads to sattva? Last time he said, no, rajas leads to sorrow, tamas leads to ajnanam. So this verse is nothing but an explanation of the previous verse, where he says over here that it's not that sattva is like effectless. It leads to the knowledge of the self. Why does he say this now? Why does not tell us in the first place? Because if he says right in the beginning it leads to knowledge, our understanding is, oh, I have to collect lots of knowledge. You don't have to collect lots of knowledge. You do sukruta. Sukruta karma you do. And when you do sukruta, well done, sukruta. It's well done. Everything about it is well done. When you do that, then you get sattva, which means you gain knowledge. If you don't do it, you get lobha, more and more. Now, if you think about it very rationally for a minute, and you say, when you're asking for more, why are you asking for more? What do you not have that you're asking for more? What one quality which you don't have, or one experience you don't have, which is why you're asking for more? Okay, you've just eaten a meal, and it's a superb meal, and you are completely, you're full. Will you ask for more? You never ask for more. If somebody offers you also, you say, no, Baba, thank you. Right? So why are you not asking for more? Or why do you ask for more?
When you feel that sense of incompleteness.
When you're not satisfied, you ask for more. If you're satisfied, why will you ask for more? Even if a wife is satisfied with the affection of her husband, will she keep asking for more? She'll say, ab ho gaya, bas, ab kuch jaake karo. And when you're satisfied with something, you don't ask for more of it. So this Rajasic guy is never satisfied. Why is he not satisfied?
Because he associates happiness with objects.
Follow the line of thought. Why is he not satisfied? Greed,
Oh.
we are explaining Jayashree.
Yeah.
He is greedy. Why is he greedy? Why is he asking for more? Because he's not satisfied. But why is he not satisfied?
Because he doesn't have knowledge.
Okay, why doesn't he have knowledge?
Is it because personality is full of desires sprouting everywhere?
Nobody is following the line of thought. Poor Krishna. What did he say? Think of his line of thought.
Rajas leads to sorrow and Rajas leads to greed.
And
But
Rajas leads to agitation.
okay,
so if you're
And
saying that he uh, he's experiencing agitation because he's feeling incomplete.
he is experiencing greed because he's feeling incomplete. He's feeling dissatisfied. Where does this dissatisfaction come from? Okay, where does satisfaction come from?
His desires are not satisfied.
That's why we're asking now, where does satisfaction come from? You know that if he just fulfills his desires, he'll still not be satisfied. Where does satisfaction come from? Nobody was listening. Such an easy
Knowledge.
task.
Not looking at
Knowledge
the
of doing
fruit
the
of,
right thing.
not looking for fruits of action. The fruit of action.
Nobody paid attention. 1 hour down the drain. What did he say? The fruit of good action is sattva. Sattva is equal to?
Good action.
Good actions.
The fruit of good action is sattva. Sattva is equal to?
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
And?
Satisfaction.
Satisfaction. Very good. Finally, somebody is going somewhere close. The fruit of sattva is satisfaction. Where is, satisfaction is sattva. So where is the satisfaction coming from?
Knowledge.
Good action.
Good action. Bapre. Finally, sukrutaha. Remember, he said, if you are sukrutaha, you get sattva. When you're not sukrutaha, you get lobha. So we are looking for satisfaction out of fulfilling our desires. We are saying you will find satisfaction only by doing sukrataha, right action, good action, correct action. All right. Okay, so that's it for today. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Janki.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om, Janki ji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Janki ma'am. Hari Om.
Thank you, Janki ji.